So, hi everyone, let's get started tonight's session, which is hopefully about 45 minutes of restorative yoga. So you'll want a bolster at least, or a big rolled up sleeping bag, or super fat cushion, maybe something that, a few things really that will work as props for you. And also something to sit on that we're going to start with now. Start with a little 3 minutes sit. So sitting comfortably, you don't have to be in any particular position as long as it's comfortable for your knees and hips and back. Find a comfy seat. It's Christmas. Maybe I've had one too many. No, honestly, I haven't. I haven't had a drink all day, at least for a couple of days actually. So anyway, let's crack on. Find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes or lower your gaze to the floor. Follow the sound to the very, very end. And as the sound fades, you may start to become aware of your breathing. Just feeling the movement in the body as you breathe in and breathe out. Tune into all the sensations that come with the breath. The feeling of the air through the nose. The expansion of the ribs. The softening of the body as you breathe out. The rise and fall as you breathe in and out. Feeling the feet on the floor, your seat on the ground, your spine rising tall, the crown uplifting, the face soft, shoulders, elbows and hands. Feel the connection of the hands to the legs. And back to the breath, soft breath, rising and falling. You can lift your gaze or open your eyes. 3 minutes isn't very long, but sometimes it's just enough to connect. So let's just move slightly out of our seated posture and come into our first restorative, which is a nice butterfly, a nice long butterfly. I'm just going to make sure that my phone's turned down properly here, as I've got some poems on here for later. There we go. So finding your own version of butterfly, wherever that may be, and using your bolster either long on the feet, or maybe if you don't feel like you've got a lot of movement here, you can use it long end up and just rest your head on it, and that can be quite nice too. So it's finding that Goldilocks position, that sweet spot. We're going to spend 5 minutes here. And if at first you don't feel comfortable, you can't relax, then have a little fidget, maybe add an extra pillow or a bolster. I've got a little mini bolster here for my head. So make it as comfortable as you can, remembering that this is restorative. And hopefully you've found that sweet spot now, and you can start to relax. And if you find that your mind is whirring away up there and you'd like to calm down or pull away from the hamster wheel of thoughts, one good way is to come into that 3-minute sit that we just did. So become mindful about your pose. Being mindful just means being aware of what's here right now. So feeling the breath moving, however it's moving. It might have gone up slightly as you tried to find position. And then hopefully it will start to settle as your body settles. So you find your breath, and then you find your body. Feeling the feet in their position, tuning in to all those mini sensations that often go unnoticed because we are busy doing other things, distracted by the outer world, as it were. But here we get the opportunity to sit with ourselves, sense into the body, sense what it is that the body needs, perhaps without looking or analysing, just sitting, and the body will reveal to you just through little signals what it needs. So if you feel a twinge, it doesn't feel good, that's your body possibly saying come out a little bit earlier, or grab another cushion and have more props and make it more comfortable. We're almost there now, anyway. We've probably got about 5 breaths left. So, let's think about how we're going to slowly release from this. All we're going to do is come to lie on our backs so that we can ease out a little bit. Just pop your props to the side. Get yourselves comfortable with the feet on the mat. And then draw the knees in. Bring the knees towards each other. And let's have a nice small circle with the knees going the same way. Just easing out the lower back there. Still going the same way. We haven't changed direction yet. See if you can feel that whole circle of the sacrum as you move around. And let's change that direction now. See what that feels like. See how different it feels. Keep tuning in to how the body's responding. Nice, smooth breath, smooth rolling with the movement of the knees. And let's just pause here. Let's bring the knees out and the feet up for a moment, hands on the backs of the thighs, and just draw your legs open, soles of the feet to the ceiling. A very loose, happy baby. Keep the hands on the backs of the thighs for the moment. Just have a tiny, tiny sway. Tiny, tiny sway. And then you can go a little bit deeper if you want and reach up for the calves or the feet. And then just hang out for about 5 breaths. We're going to be here. It's a nice, I kind of quite like it as an in-between pose, a transition pose, as well as a full pose. Sometimes you can hang out here for 5 minutes, but sometimes it's nice to use it as that transition between longer poses as well. Take a nice deep breath now into your lower belly, expand it. Feel how it pushes against the thighs and expands that stretch a little bit. And then softly release. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And then release. Now you're going to want to find your bolster here. I've placed it just below my feet. I'm going to roll it in. So you want your bolster between your feet and your bottom at the moment. So hopefully you've got that there by now. We're going to do a supported bridge. So you want to pick your hips up as if you are doing the rolling bridge. So elbows push into the floor and then roll that bolster under your hips. And then you want it to go a little bit higher. So you want it to be about two-thirds of it in your lower back, below your waist, and maybe a third above your waist. That's how it feels right to me. But this is called supported bridge. So you want an arch, and wherever that arch is for you, just have a little fidget for a moment. Find where that feels right, where you can just relax, where there's no pinching in the lower back at all. And then see if you can relax. So the feet are planted onto the mat. If you want, you can take them wider apart if that feels nicer for you. You might even be able to just let the knees slide towards each other. But be careful, check in, see what feels right for you, where you want your feet, where your back feels nice and comfortable, even though it's getting that little back bend here. So rest your elbows. I've got my hands on my ribs, but some people like to just splay their hands out to the side. I better grab my little timer and off we go. We won't spend 5 minutes here. That's too long for some people. So we'll go with 3 minutes, but if you don't feel that this is working for you, come out early, just roll the bolster out, maybe draw those knees back in and have a nice little rock and roll or a sway from side to side. Or even just to lie down. So nice, easy posture it should be. We don't want any strain in restorative. So you can let the rest of the body be soft. And again, you can notice what you notice, feel what you feel from moment to moment. Just relax. Just breathe. It feels lovely to me. So I've got a little poem here to read for the last minute. Water. Next time you walk past a stream, stop a moment and listen. The water flowing gently, whispering. Close your eyes. What can you hear? Water drips from the leaves of the trees overhead. Birds call in the distance. You open your eyes, walk to a bridge. Standing near the edge, you see the water flowing faster. You realize the water is happy. It loves the cleansing rain. It clears the clutter and helps it flow. Looking up, notice the sunlight shining through the trees. Sunbeams glisten through the leaves. The water dripping causes tiny ripples spreading downstream. Close your eyes again. Listen to the sounds. Allow the water to cleanse your spirit and continue on your way. So, in order to roll out of in fact, we're not going to roll out of this. What we're going to do next, you probably want to keep the bolster more or less where it is already. All we're going to do is we're going to transition into legs up. Now that feels a bit high for me actually, the bolster, so maybe you do want to move it down just a touch below your waist. Yeah, I haven't got any of the bolster above my waist. It's just the tip of it is sitting on my waistline. Most of it's below my waistline. And then you bring your legs up. It's simple. Legs up. Clues in the title. So, whether you've got your feet together or you like them apart, take a nice deep breath and just release, relax, let go. I'll find my timer and pop that on. We've got 5 minutes here. So see this as a very relaxed shoulder stand, because effectively that's what we're doing. We're getting an inversion. We've got all the blood flow coming down from the legs, feeding the heart, nourishing the heart, and then we've got all that fresh, nourished blood flowing even further up to the brain, or down to the brain as it were, in this case, which is really good for the brain. Nice, rich, nutrient blood. And there's nothing to do here again. Just sink into your body, sink into the mat. Let everything from your toes drop down. So bring all of your awareness to your toes and the very tips of your toes. And then feel everything moving down through the ankles, calves, through the knees. The knees are getting some nice blood flow, the reverse blood flow. Down through the thighs, into the hips, feeding that rich nutrient area here, the density of the lower back. And then feeling the back on the floor and those points of contact. Let the face be soft. Nothing to do. So we have the great fortune of living in the Lake District here. So I've got a little poem by William Wordsworth. His most famous one probably. It's just a little bit of it. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So there we are, that is 5 minutes. So just draw your knees gently down, roll, so bring the knees towards your head a little bit and then roll the bolster gently out. And then just pop your feet, roll the bolster, pop your feet on the bolster for a moment. Let everything settle. If you feel like it, you can draw the knees in and have a little circle here. Make sure everything feels okay. Circle the other way too. We haven't got much left to do now at all. So what we're going to do now is a little supported twist. So I want you to bring your bolster to the side of your body, but mostly, well, I've got the top of the bolster in line with my hip. And then you want so it's in line with my left hip. And then you want your left leg long. So if it's in line with your right hip, you want your right hip long, right leg long. Whichever leg's next to the bolster, it wants to be long down the mat. And then all you're going to do is you're going to roll over. So you might need a little bit more space, maybe between you and the bolster. You're going to roll over and put that leg on top. So I've got my right inner thigh over the bolster, my knee, my right calf just kind of rolling down the length of it there. Get nice and comfy here. Now that's when it's useful to have another cushion for your head. So, cushion for your head, and then just settle here for a few breaths at first. So my right shoulder's off the mat at the moment, but I'm looking straight up at the ceiling, so I'm still getting a little bit of a twist through the spine. Now if that's too much for you, what you can do here instead is roll completely onto your left side. Bring the pillow under like this and just lie down like that. That's really lovely, calming position. While you may not be getting the twist through the spine, sometimes that doesn't work for everybody, the twist through the spine, depending on where you're at. So I'm offering alternatives. So you've got this posture, or you can roll back so that your face is looking up to the ceiling, or you can roll even further and bring your right shoulder back onto the mat. So there's all those options, 1, 2 or 3. Choose your posture, choose your position. We're going to be here for a minute. So, nice smooth breaths. Try and help the body relax. Let those exhalations sink down through the body. Let them help you sink into the mat. And with each exhalation, softening a little bit more. Let's see if I can find another little poem for you. And while I do that, that's our minute up. So you want to slowly roll out of that. Come back into the middle. Maybe have a little reset. Get your things ready. Bring your bolster to the other side. Remember, it's the leg that's closest to the bolster that you put nice and long down the mat. And then you roll onto your... I'm rolling onto my right side. My right leg's long, my left leg's over the bolster. And initially come into this side posture. See if you want to stay here. Have a few breaths here. And then if you want, you can try and explore whether you want to roll the upper body back so that your face is lifted to the ceiling. Or even further so that your left arm, left shoulder comes down to the floor. And then settling in for another minute, for another 5 or so breaths. Instead of using my phone, actually, I've got some lovely quotes in here that I can see where I am. So there's a quote by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was an ancient Taoist. So Taoists were the kind of like the pagans for the Christians. So pre-Zen or pre-Buddhism or any other organized religion, Taoism. Mostly in China. So yeah, Lao Tzu, a great writer from, I think, I don't know, a long, long time ago. Anyway, he says, nature does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. Nature does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. And isn't that quite apt for restorative? We don't need to hurry through our practice, and still everything is accomplished. And I think that's our minute, yeah. So slowly, gently roll out of that. Let's just have a little tucking with the knees. Maybe a little sway from side to side. A little reset. Do what feels right. A little circle maybe. And I like to, as my reset, I like to breathe in, and as I breathe out, lift my head towards my knees, and then release into Shavasana, your final posture. So find a position that's comfortable for you. Move whatever you don't need, just gently to the side. Get your blankets ready. And relax. Make all those little adjustments you need to make. And I'm not going to talk tonight. I'm just going to give you about 5 minutes of just listening to the bowls, the sound of the bowls. So hopefully you've arranged yourself by now, nice and comfortably. Nothing left to do, nowhere else to be. We can just simply release the body, listen to the sounds of the bowls washing over. So start to feel the body on the mat. Start to bring a little bit of movement back. And think about how you're going to move out of the posture. Maybe have a little sway on the back, draw the knees in, get ready to roll onto a side to come up to seated, or find another way up. We bring our hands together in gratitude for our practice. We rub the hands together. Also, we think of something that you're truly grateful for in your life right now. And then place the hands over the eyes. Let's take a nice deep breath in together. And as we breathe out, bring the hands down to the heart space. We bow the head in respect. And we say, Namaste. Namaste. So thank you for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed this short restorative practice. And I'll see you next time. Bye.